Hey everybody, this is the Survivor Story with the Veterans Chamber of Commerce, and we have Kerri Jeter. She is the founder of Freedom Sisters Media, and I am just really grateful for her to be on here to share her story. So thank you so much. Please tell us about yourself.
Awesome. My name is Kerri Jeter. I'm a 12-year Army veteran. I was Miss Veteran America 2015, which was a huge honor. And now I'm running Freedom Sisters Media, where we have a podcast and a magazine and a big vision for growth. And just really excited to sit down with you today and talk.
Thank you. So tell us about your survivor story and how have you come to be where you're at today?
Sure. I honestly think my survivor story started at birth. Literally was born into a very young family and had to overcome all of the things that we were up against. Right. My mom had all three of us. I was born to teen parents. All three of us were born, I being the youngest, before my mom even turned 18. And so we had, she had little education, finding a good job. My parents, I was born into kind of a volatile situation. So there was, conflict between them. And as a result of that, a divorce happened and my mom became a single mom. And so she was working a lot. My dad was absent a lot. And, um, you know, not knowing as a little kid, but looking back to like be like, well, what my survival story really is all about, like finding love. Like, where do you find this love? And joining this family, like, I'm not saying that my parents don't love me or my sisters didn't love me. I'm not saying that at all. But at some point in the story, I felt unloved. And I felt like I needed to look outside of this family to fill that hole in my heart. And, there was probably undiagnosed mental health issues on both sides for my parents. There's definitely addiction. There's definitely some domestic violence and neglect, I'd say, probably of us kids, and abuse at times in today's standards. And so, when I was in third grade, I remember this very distinctively. I stopped hugging and kissing my mom, like as a third grade kid. And so, what, you're like 9, maybe? And so, from that moment in my own childlike heart, I didn't know why I did that. But in the same summer, um, my dad had come back into our life as well. And so we started visiting him. And my sisters went away to vacation Bible school camp. I was too young to go. And they came back talking about this guy named Jesus. And I should totally make a shirt that says this, but I was jealous for Jesus. So I went to my grandfather, my dad's dad, who's actually a Baptist preacher, and was like, I want to know about this Jesus. And so we did the ABC prayer and I accepted Jesus in my heart. Well, I thought this was going to be the answer to love in our family, bring our family whole, stop the addiction, stop the abuse, find that. And when he wasn't a magic genie, in my childlike mind, I kind of just said, oh, well, that didn't work either. So look to the world to find love and fulfillment. And so that's what I did at a very young age. I started just doing a whole lot of things. I was a teen mom myself. So, sex was definitely a part of not only trying to find love with like a family or with friends, but in the romantic sense of like trying to fill those holes in my heart and just like longing for that belonging, longing for somebody to love me back and all of that. And um, it led me to some really, really scary situations that I ultimately did have to survive in a different capacity. I've survived single motherhood. I've survived multiple marriages. I survived statutory rape situation for with a permission slip. Married this man as a 16-year-old kid, and eventually survived a domestic violence situation where a shotgun was pulled out and cocked. And so, just some really scary places by trying to survive and trying to find love. And so in 2009, I hit what I call professional and personal rock bottom at the same time. I was going through my second divorce as a oh man, well, how old was I in 2009? Less than 25 years old, under 25. I'm going through um, a second divorce, and I just commissioned into the adjutant corps in the army. But when they showed up to congratulate me and give me, the high five, hey, here's your assignment, they actually back ordered my unit, back ordered that position, and moved me 3 hours away from what I thought was going to be my new home. And so I had already bought a home. My kids were already enrolled in school, and we had to uproot and move. And so, I mean, that was a really dark time, I'd say. Something that I didn't think was going to be a place where joy and fulfillment and love actually found me, but that's exactly where it found me. And, going through the motions of a divorce and just being heartbroken and going through the motions of a career, a place where I thought I belonged, and I didn't. They cast me out too. So, I mean, I didn't sleep, I didn't eat. I was very anxious and nervous. And so, as a result of that, I found myself awake all the time. And one of my coping mechanisms as a kid was to read. I love books. You can live 1,000 lives through stories of other people and books that have been written. And I stumbled across a book on my friend's bookshelf, a place I was staying at. Just so happened to be a Christian home. And I pulled off this book, and it was something like Prayers in a Shoebox, or Shoebox Prayers. And it was about a young boy who was adopted, and he kept all his prayers in this box. And one of the prayers was to be adopted. And so when the family got to open the box and read these, they could see all the answered prayers that he had experienced. And it was a very, very quick read. And so I looked on the bookshelf to see if there was another one by the same author, and there was. So I pulled that one off, which was much bigger, and it took me multiple weeks to read because I was in the middle of a move. I had to transition to a new job. I had to find a new house. I had all the things. And so I ended up staying with a colleague, I guess, a peer, um, at the new unit that I was assigned to. I was house hunting, and I continued to read the book at night. And that is where I found love. That's where this guy named Jesus came back into my story, and had like really just this, I call like this warm, delicious covering over my heart and over my, just felt like this warm sensation from like the tip of my head all the way through and my body. And I was laid, prostrated on the ground, just crying. Like, the book was great. The book was fabulous. I don't know, I'm kind of going all over, but it wasn't until the end of the book where I read her testimony, where she literally, as an author of so many secular books, once she found Jesus, she wasn't able to continue to write those books. And it wasn't until she picked up the Bible and started writing stories about the characters of the Bible that her gifting of writing came back. So she literally cast away, like stopped publishing every book that had made her a millionaire. Um, every book that was in the library, she pulled off the shelves. You cannot find them anywhere. They're like gone out of existence because of her radical transformation of her heart. And I was like blown away by like that. Like, you could live this whole life of trying to survive, of trying to obtain what the world says is love and all these things. But yet when Jesus captured her heart and that internal transformation, which is really what it's all about, it's not like the world's going to change, but it's what this relationship, what this love does to on the inside of you, and then it radiates outwardly. That's what struck me. And I was like, whoa. And so then it was like, Kerri, at this point in your life, I was there, and this, I was there, and this. And so it was all of that grace and that mercy, and being fully known and exposed, for everything. I know everything that I've experienced. Jesus does, God does. And it was at that moment that, in spite of all of my failures, all of my imperfections, like, I'm still loved. And that's really where my survival story changed. And I became not just a survivor, but somebody who thrives and wants to make purpose out of my pain and help other people overcome. And I'm not saying it's an easy road. And I'm not saying I haven't been blessed or hurt since finding him. But what I can say is that I know this delicious mercy, right? And this delicious love. And then surrendering all of the things that I have wanted in life over to what God is calling me to do. He's brought amazing things into the world for me, including a new husband, including more kids, including, business with a mission and helping women veterans overcome, heal, and thrive so that they can stand firm and know how incredible they are, how much value they have, and that they are worthy just the way that they have been created. And I would say that from beginning to end is my survivor story, and my goal and my life calling, a bigger mission, my higher purpose is after the hearts of women veterans to know that they are perfectly and wonderfully made and capable of doing incredible things in spite of what you have experienced.
That is so beautiful. Thank you so, thank you so much for sharing all of that. Where can people find you to receive this compassion that you have?
Yeah, please come find us. Like, we are here for you. Freedomsisters.com is a great place. All of our social media is available there too, but freedomsisters.com is a great starting location. And Freedom Sisters Media is our handle on Instagram. I live on Instagram and I would love to connect with you there.
Thank you so much, Kerri.
Welcome.